What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, watch the interview. Shout out to Ness from the Boxing Voice. He did a Q&A with Keith one-time Thurman, head of his July 20th showdown with Manny PAC-MAN PACQUIAO. Once again, shout out to Ness in the Boxing Voice for bringing us this interview, man. With that said, I was watching the interview. It's about 16 minutes long, and I watched this interview, right? And Keith Thurman has no interest in fighting Errol Spence Jr., IBF welterweight champion, undefeated. He truly has no interest in fighting Errol Spence Jr. None, to be honest, right? And his reasoning for this is that he's not Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence, that is. And where's his Floyd Mayweather? In the same interview, he pulls Leonard Ellaby. If you don't know who Leonard Ellaby is, CEO of Mayweather Promotions, or what is he? The head of Mayweather Promotions. I don't know what Leonard Ellaby is. I believe he's the CEO. Floyd himself is the co-founder, I guess. Whatever, right? With that said, he pulls Leonard Ellaby into the video, and he says, "Hey, Leonard, am I gonna get Floyd?" And Leonard says, "Absolutely not." And he says, "See, I don't have a Floyd Mayweather." So he's trying to turn Errol Spence into his version of Floyd Mayweather, his big fight, right? That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to let the fight between himself and Errol Spence marinate, and that be his Floyd Mayweather, his version of Floyd Mayweather, right? So he could conquer, slay the dragon, so to speak, right? That's his plan, to slay the dragon, so to speak. You understand? So he wants Errol Spence, basically, is what Keith Thurman, this is what he's alluding to. Excuse me, man, while I'm trying to record and talk to y'all. But he's alluding to the fact that he's trying to allow Errol Spence Jr. to build up this name and this reputation, and then he could swoop in and slay the dragon. He could be the one that swoops in and slays the dragon, right? And then, that'll bolster his career. You right? That'll, for his legacy and things of that nature. As he stated in the same interview, in the same video, he says that he's pretty much in a lose-lose situation with Manny Pacquiao. He says that if he wins against Manny Pacquiao, everybody's gonna look at Manny Pacquiao as they're gonna look at Manny Pacquiao as over the hill, right? They're gonna say he wasn't the same versus Jeff Horn, things of that nature. He lost a step. He's past his prime. He said, but everybody was saying he looked like the old Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Broner. Says, and if he loses, he shouldn't have lost to Manny Pacquiao, so on and so forth. And I agree with him when it comes down to that. Because if he beats Manny Pacquiao, yes, there are going to be people that say Manny Pacquiao was past his prime. And if he loses to Manny Pacquiao, they're going to be like, how did Keith Thurman lose to Manny Pacquiao? We told you he wasn't what people were saying he was, so on and so forth. So with that said, he says that this is pretty much, it's a legacy fight, but he's not going to get 100% of the credit for beating Manny Pacquiao, right? So he says that Errol Spence is his Floyd Mayweather. So he's saying that, there's a lot of chatter about him fearing Errol Spence. He said, but what happened to Mandown? What happened to the whole quote-unquote Mandown situation? He stated that he didn't see Mikey Garcia go down. He stated that I didn't see Mikey Garcia go down. So what happened to the whole man down mantra, right? He said that's all a crock. He said that, I ain't worried about Errol Spence. He said that, you know, when I was coming up, he said that he saw Errol Spence when Errol Spence first started, and he informed Errol Spence, I see you working, and I know, you know, we'll meet. I look forward to meeting you in the ring in the future. So he's alluding to the fact that, you know, he wants Errol Spence to be his dragon. You understand? Like Floyd Mayweather had a few dragons in his career. Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, Diego Corrales. You know, there was a few in Floyd Mayweather's career, you know, which, you know, shined his career in a whole different light because he slayed those dragons. With that said, Keith Thurman is alluding to it that, you know, he's been letting this marinate and building this up since then. He knew Errol Spence was going to be that guy. And that's why he has no interest in facing Terrence Crawford. And he has no interest in facing Errol Spence right now. But he did contradict himself, because in the same token, he says, my career didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And so I would have been fought and beaten Errol Spence already by now if everything would have went the way I wanted to go. But due to the injuries, you know, I had to take layoffs, and there's no way coming off injuries I'm fighting Errol Spence, who's the best in the division, Terrence Crawford, or Sean Porter. Not happening. That's what he said. But if you're letting the fight build and marinate, then how could you have already fought and beat Errol Spence? How? Because judging by what you're saying already, is that Errol Spence needs to build himself up. So how would you have already previously fought and beat him? If he needs to make a name and you're letting the fight marinate for the right time, as he stated. He said that, you know, I want this fight to take place at the right time, you know, for my career, for me. And then he stated that he understands what Floyd Mayweather was saying, because 90% of the people don't know nothing about boxing. And he wasn't coming off of injuries and things of that nature and fighting no Errol Spence, no Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, or Danny Garcia. That wasn't going to happen. So a lot of people call for it, but that wasn't going to happen. And of course they're going to call for it because they don't know nothing about boxing. So now he's, he's adopting the Mayweather mantra, right? And he's saying that, Floyd was right. He said, now I know what Floyd was saying, because like I said, Ness was doing a Q&A. So somebody asked him, what happened to, I got an O, I ain't afraid to let it go, don't duck me, son. You know, what happened to that version of Keith Thurman? Now you're doing what you said Floyd Mayweather was doing, which was picking and choosing his opponents. And that was his response. I understand why Floyd was saying what he was saying now. I understand where he was coming from, because people don't know nothing about boxing, so on and so forth. Well, my opinion is this, right? I think that it was a contradiction, to say the least, when he says that he would have, if his career would have went the way he wanted it to go, he would have already previously fought and beat, Errol the True Spence Jr. I don't see that to be true. If you're letting Errol Spence Jr. build up his resume and a name and his persona, you allow him to become the dragon that you need him to be, to slay for your legacy and your career, then how could you possibly have already previously beaten him if he hasn't gotten to that point right now yet? If you don't feel like he's at that point to where you should take the fight right now, then how could you have already previously beat him? You couldn't have. Because he's just now building his resume, as you say. So you couldn't possibly have beaten him already. The fight wouldn't have happened. See, this is what I'm saying, man. He says that, he's looking to let it marinate and let Errol Spence build himself up. But then the same token, you said you would have beaten him already. Well, you couldn't have beaten him already if you letting himself build up. So if a couple of years ago, if he's not at that level right now for you to fight him, then how could he have been at that level a couple of years ago? Makes no sense. You understand what I'm saying? Makes no sense at all. And so, you know, at the end of the day, you know, Keith Thurman is not doing himself any justice. Not that he cares, because I don't believe Keith Thurman cares one iota. I don't believe so. I don't think Keith Thurman gives one iota what people think. It's just that, you know, what he's putting out there is just, it comes off as contradictions. It comes off as you don't want that fight with Errol Spence. As he stated, you know, he's going to let the fight marinate. So you're going to let the fight marinate, then you couldn't have possibly have had the fight take place already a couple years ago. That's not possible. So, you know, it comes off as you don't want to fight Errol Spence. And I think that Keith Thurman has a plan. I think Keith Thurman's plan is to allow the fight between himself and Errol Spence to marinate, allow it to get bigger, and you know, allow Errol Spence to build up more of a persona, build up more of a namesake, and then quote unquote come in and slay the dragon. That's what I think. That's what I think his angle is. And but in doing so, he's trying to justify not fighting him right now. He's trying to justify, saying he has no interest. He said that he's not going to sign for a third fight this year. He doesn't see himself committing to a third fight this year. And it's definitely, if he does commit to a fight, it's definitely not going to be Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. That's not going to happen. And, and then the fight will happen sometime next year. I don't think that even next year, I don't think that he's going to go into an Errol Spence fight or a Terrence Crawford fight. And I think he's going to receive a lot of backlash. I think he's going to receive a lot of criticism for it. Because I truly believe he beats Manny Pacquiao. I think that Keith Thurman is going to be looking to fight Danny Garcia. Is going to be looking to fight Danny Garcia. Right? Danny Garcia beats Mikey Garcia. He's going to look to fight Danny Garcia. And then possibly at the end of the year, he'll look to face Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence. But by that time, he's going to be, he's getting pushed and forced into that position. You see what I'm saying? It's like he's being, he's being pushed in that direction. You know what I mean? The fans, the media, they're not gonna let it down. Mikey Garcia and like he keep mentioning Danny Garcia. I don't know why. You beat Danny Garcia clearly. Danny Garcia doesn't have a belt. Why are you even mentioning Danny Garcia as a possible opponent? For what? It makes no sense. Why is Danny Garcia an option? For what? He doesn't have a belt. He doesn't have, you beat him already decisively. So why is he an option? Why do you mention his name? Sean Porter, I understand. Now, if Sean Porter gets past Errol Spence in September, obviously that's a fight that you have to look forward to, right? But it says a lot to the people when you openly say, oh, I ducked Errol Spence. You're saying that you ducked Errol Spence. You're admitting to ducking Errol Spence. And then on top of that, you're saying that you have no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford with no real justification behind it. So, Keith Thurman, I believe he wants to turn himself into the villain like Floyd Mayweather did. I believe that's the angle he's going for. I think he's trying to create the He's trying to create a different avenue, a different Keith Thurman where, you know, people pay to watch him lose. And like I said, then he could so-called, quote unquote, call himself slaying the dragon. All people scared of Errol Spence. Then he can go in and face Errol Spence and beat Errol Spence and slay the dragon, quote unquote. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, people, you're scared of Terrence Crawford. You know, he's trying to build up this persona, you know, because there can't be no other logic behind this. None. There's no logic behind saying, oh, I don't have no interest in fighting Terrence Crawford. I don't have no interest in fighting Errol Spence right now. He got to build himself up. What happened to Mandown? Mandown is all a crock. You talk about me not being one time no more, but what happened to Mandown? You had a sparring session with Mikey Garcia. So, you know, I think that Keith Thurman is purposely doing this. You know, but hopefully we get to see the fights that we want to see, the best fighting the best. Keith Thurman gets past Manny Pacquiao. There's no logical reason for us not seeing Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence should Errol Spence get past Sean Porter in September. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2019, but it should definitely happen in early 2020 at the very least. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Keith one-time Thurman says he has no interest in fighting Errol Spence anytime soon. He wants to let that fight marinate. He's been letting it marinate. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.